It is 4:30 on the nose, so we will start the meeting. Scott's not gonna be able to make it, so it is the four of us. Okay, sorry about last time that they didn't get the agenda, even though it was from the agenda before, but here we are.
Things.
Things. Okay, so what we were going to do last time was to go through each section. And I know that Karen had organizational growth. What did you have, Amy?
The professional relationships.
Professional relationships. And what did you have?
I had trustee board relationships.
Trustee, okay. So anybody want to go first?
Yeah, I'm happy to
Yeah.
chat about that.
So I guess the best thing, it is really difficult because you're not supposed to discuss anything outside this kind of meeting. That's why I kind of had people do the stuff. And if it's your section and you have additions or corrections or something different, if you do that. And then when you finish, you can send that section to me.
Okay.
And see if we can try to do that. I'm just like very cautious of not, I know it would be easier just to have a document that went back and forth, but I think that that's not what we're supposed to do. So we're gonna try to plow through this.
That'll have us answering to somebody else.
What did you say?
That will have us answering to somebody else.
Correct.
Aside from
This
the
is
director
painful
answering
enough.
tasks.
We told
Aside
them,
from the director answering tasks.
yes, I mean, this is painful enough, so. You know what I mean?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I mean, first of all, I think doing this annually has you in the 4 to 6 question range.
Correct. I agree.
And the director relationship with the board is a relationship where we want to make sure she's doing what she is supposed to be doing running this facility and not us getting involved in what's going on day to day.
Right.
By any means.
Okay.
So, just thinking about the past stuff and some of the things that popped up that people seem to have concerns. I mean, I guess a primary thing that we see from the director is the library and staff reports we get every month.
Okay.
And one of the staff things is, how do we evaluate the director's communication with the staff and supervision of the staff? So, I don't have, 4 to 6 questions yet. I have concepts of what needs to be kind of covered in the course of doing that and trying to get at certain things that, seem to be swirling around in the background that didn't really quite get answered to some people's satisfaction in the course of conversations in the course of our meetings. So I guess one kind of thing would be, does the director convey any staff issues or concerns? I mean, in that, is it worth having a section in the staff reports that is something from the union rep? We've got staff reports from all different aspects of the library that we see. Is that something that we want to add to what the director gives us? And do you even want to get into that? No.
I say no, because what is the union gonna tell us?
I don't know.
Then we're not in the union.
I know.
They have no, I don't think they have any. What do we wanna know? Do we want?
Right, that's, I guess that's the question.
Yeah.
And
essentially, is everything good, or do you have any concerns that haven't been addressed?
And so, to that end, that should come from the director, and as part of the director's report, maybe we have a little subheading that says, okay, does the director convey any concerns with staff issues or concerns with the staff reports?
Yeah.
Yes or no? That's a one.
Yeah, so we're talking about the trustees and the director.
We want to make sure the director gives us what we want.
Yes.
So looking at that relationship, what do we want?
Right,
Do we want to get into, is the staff running well? Are the staff reports that we look at, be it from the assistant director or Megan or whoever else, gives us reports, what do we want to have, what do we want to get from that?
right.
And
So the
how
first
and how do we
thing-
make sure Catherine gives us that?
So the first thing is we want complete staff, we want complete reports on, I think we get that, so what do you,
Right, and so is there a
So is
staff
she report-
relationship
staff relationship?
report? I mean, is that a subheading or something that that she gives us? So again, I'll go back to the question, does the director convey any staff issues or concerns with staff? And is the director satisfied with the staff reports? Do we think she's happy with what we get from the staff?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I feel like this is blurring the line between the section on Board of Trustee relationships and the Administration Human Resources section. If we're talking about two different sections of the evaluation.
And I'm happy to push any staff questions to that section.
Like
And not have
thought,
any of that in this relationship.
yeah, I thought that the Board of Trustee relationship section of the evaluation was more about just, do we get timely reports? Is there, strong communication, whatever? Does they follow directives and requests of the trustees, that kind of thing, as opposed to just more about how the director works with the trustees versus the specifics of the information included? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because I know.
I think it's more just about the relationship than the nuggets of truth in that.
So are the trustee issues we have fully answered by the director? And obviously there were trustees that had issues
right, but
with different things.
I don't think that that's our job. I don't know how you would evaluate that, but if there's something, well, the Board of Trustees' relationship with the director is getting reports, updated reports monthly.
I agree.
Getting,
Our policies do we have policies that we give to the director? Yes. Are they carried out in a timely fashion? Are we happy with how the director handles things we ask her?
right,
And the short answer for me is yes.
right, right.
Or like one bullet point in there could be, are they open to critique and criticism and constructive criticism kind of thing? Like,
Right.
is there an open door relationship in terms of can we
So
communicate?
so any questions, concerns, from a trustee member is answered in a timely manner, is addressed in a timely manner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and is the director just open to our questions, to our concerns? And vice versa. Does the director come to us when appropriate? Whatever the case may be, whatever which and that sort of goes back to the staffing thing because it's not always appropriate. Like obviously we've determined there are some times where it should go to human resources or whatever. So
Yeah,
is the director coming to us with the appropriate information in a timely manner that we should be aware of?
So I guess the question is, are the director's monthly reports to the trustees satisfactory?
I like
yes,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the question, that's the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And since you said scale, how do we want to rank things?
well, that's what we kind of touched upon that, you can do, there was some of these that had 5 or more ratings and some with 4. One went excellent, satisfactory, needs improvement, and unknown. One went outstanding, highly effective, needs improvement, unacceptable, or not applicable. outstanding, above average, average, weak, and unsatisfactory. So do you want 5? Do we say if we wanted 5?
Yeah,
different,
I think
or
we
want
liked-
I think we
3?
said 5.
I feel like we liked 5 because,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
a 1 and a
more.
5 and a 3, and then there's a little wiggle room in the middle with your 2s and 4s.
Yeah,
Kind of, there's always going to be the person that wants to order their steak medium rare, on the side of rare with a touch of pink. Like there's always going to be a person that wants
yeah.
a 1.72.
And it's always gonna come up wrong in that case, if you
And-
have that many.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also a fan of the always, sometimes, never type rating system.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
there's,
maybe when we have all the questions or it's gonna be easier.
yeah, because, once we
Because
see the
really,
format
we
of the
shouldn't
question.
be asking a question that the answer is unknown.
Right.
And we shouldn't be asking that kind of question, and someone shouldn't be answering that because we're gonna say, this is what we're evaluating, so make sure you understand all of these things and watch for these things through the year while you're evaluating. So really, I don't think that should even be a thing.
Yeah, I could see where there might be a random case where maybe the answer isn't unknown, but like not applicable might be an answer. If it's, I don't know. I guess we'd have to wait and see what all the questions are first. But
Yeah, we shouldn't be asking that question then. If we don't think if we don't think it can be measured, or if we don't think that we need the answer to that, or whatever.
yeah, I mean,
I would hope that we don't need one of those, is my opinion.
unless it's, a new hire director that just started or a new trustee that just came in or something, and maybe for that person it's a not applicable response.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like there should, or don't know, or can't answer, or whatever.
yeah,
So it wouldn't be a review if a new director delegated go by, so you would have had the chance to see the move of that year.
yeah.
Because you just suggest whatever review period it was.
Well, if we do it this year, we're only having half a year, depending on when we want to evaluate it, so.
I mean, so the director-trustee relationship is really simple. And I just want to put down all the conversations we had when people were trying to get at the staff relationship to the director and have the trustees get involved with that.
Right.
We talked about it, it's not our place. Here are the criteria for the director to be responsible for the trustees.
Yeah.
It's not a staff thing. And that goes to human resources, and or if it comes to a level where it comes to us, it's already been not satisfactorily handled at human resources.
Right.
So it's scope of our evaluation of the director is really limited to, is she running the facility properly?
Yeah.
Do we see any issues surrounding how the facilities run? And is she getting information to us in a timely fashion? And is she responsive to any of our directives?
Yeah.
Or goals?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, questions,
Yeah.
concerns, and
4.
feedback.
4 pretty simple ones.
Yeah, I don't think any of these categories should really have more than 4 or 5 points under them. I mean, and
Right.
this one seems like a very straightforward category. Like,
Right.
And
I think as far as, I know that people want to know more about the staff or how it is. I think the onus is on us then to, like, after we read the report, to ask those questions. We just have to ask those questions if we really want to know them. And every meeting, because she'll always say, are there any questions? Are there any concerns? So if we're thinking, if that's in the back of our mind.
Well, not mine.
No, but you know what I mean, and I know it's not mine either, but if it's in the back of anyone's mind, they should say, well, how do you feel the staff is, ask the question.
Yeah.
And if we don't,
Like the answer, then we got
if we
it.
don't like the answer, if someone comes up with, wants to ask her how to measure something, or can you do this, can you do that, then we need to do that. If anyone really needs to know something that isn't available to them, we just have to ask. And then we will know whether her response is good or bad.
I mean,
And I think it would be.
personally, we'll come up with 4 questions, and I will get a little more concise, but I think the director trustee relationship is sound
Yeah,
the way it is right now.
right. But we want it to be for the future generations, long after we're gone.
Might be sooner rather than later.
Yeah, gone from the location, not gone. All right, so you're gonna come
Depends
up with
how old
4
you are.
questions. And I mean, we have to, how are we gonna like, in what, we have to kind of frame them and write them all kind of in the same language,
Right,
which is a little bit tricky.
yeah, because we want sort of a little preamble introduction, probably just to set the,
Yeah,
you know, this is the goals, this is the aim, right, this is what we're doing here.
yeah,
I came up with, DTD, that was the director.
does that direct, no, you can't do that.
Mm,
All right, so I think those 4 points for that is gonna be good.
Yeah.
So if you wanna come up with those. Do you wanna go next? Who wants to
Sure.
go next?
Mine's pretty straightforward and easy.
Good.
I think. I'm scrolling down. Professional relationships. So, basically we had talked about who. The who is the, town council, town manager, FinCom, Friends of the BB, Noble Network, community groups like the Chamber, um, basically everyone that's not the trustees, but the director has some sort of professional relationship with. And then in terms of just basic bullet points under it that we're rating on, is, do they attend the meetings as requested or required? Like, are they attending FinCom meetings? Um, Town meeting is usually one that I don't know if they're required to attend that or if Catherine just happens to attend it.
That's if she's presenting.
At town meeting? I know at
If there's-
FinCom she does, but she doesn't usually present at town.
Usually,
But
no,
there's a vote.
for the budget.
Right, but she's not up. Usually FinCom goes up and presents it or Steve Mayo or somebody reads it. I guess not Steve Mayo anymore. And FinCom says, we recommend favorable action. I think she's more there in case there was a concern.
Correct.
Yeah.
But
I think she's required to attend town meeting.
okay. So, one bullet point
I can
is,
be wrong, but
yeah. Well, and that's why I said, as requested / required. I mean, she's not required to attend a Chamber of Commerce meeting. But if they request her presence, then, is she going? Is she actively participating in town events? Communicating well with professional relationships, fosters relationship growth and collaboration is what I put.
So how many bullet points do you think you'll have?
So I've got 4 in there now, but
Okay.
I'll be open to any other thoughts that you guys have that we need to add into that. I was trying to keep it on the simple side.
Yeah. So, cooperative relationship with town government, wherever
Yeah, so-
she's needed.
Well, like on your document, you've got town government as one line and then friends is another line. I just put, maintains cooperative relationships or maintains cooperative professional relationships. Is she getting along with everyone? Kind of thing as one.
No, but we have to be specific of who we're talking about.
Okay.
Don't
But
you
I don't
think
think we need to have a line by line item of, one is town government, one is friends, one is noble, one is community groups.
So you just have one line that says maintains cooperative professional relationships with town council, FinCom, Noble, Friends, Chamber. of
With town and
Communities.
community groups or
Yes, and you can put such as if you need. And
uh,
I guess we could just have a comments section in case, you felt like, oh, she's doing really with the friends, but actually she really annoyed the town council with them, or something.
So that's one question, so what are the other bullet points? So
So
one
one-
question?
one for me is communicates well with professional groups, professional relationships.
Yeah.
One is fosters relationship growth and collaboration.
Okay.
Comes up with new initiatives like, hey, let's work with let's work with the chamber and do a flower-based fundraiser. Or not.
No, that would never fly.
One is attends the meetings as requested or required. A lot of these are obviously outside normal working hours. So are they attending them like they're supposed to? And then actively participating in town events was a 4th one. I don't know if that's a little overlappy. Um, sorry, I'm flipping between tabs here. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't think
anything,
it needs to be more complicated than that.
Right. Yeah, I think for that grouping, that makes sense.
I'm going for the one
But-
pager here, the one
yeah,
2-page
no, we went
evaluation.
for,
It seems to be becoming the common theme.
yeah,
Don't overcomplicate the questions.
Yeah, I mean, there's each section is going to have, I think we agreed is going to have a comment section, right? There's going
yeah,
to be blank lines underneath. So if you want to go in there and spill your guts about, the Friends of the BB book sale relationship or whatever, then that's the place to do it. You could certainly add more in your own details, but I don't think we need to ask the 20 questions and like pulling teeth, fishing it out.
Right.
yeah. Well, I think one thing about the last evaluation is the comments, that's kind of where it became very cloudy. So that's why I wanna make it very clear to be able to rank it however we scale it. So that you can add them all up. And, we can add up how, this came out to be that with the number. So we wanna be
Yeah.
specific about that, because comments are really just going to be more for her to encourage, and it doesn't, encouragement or suggestions.
Yeah.
Because that's what clouded everything, but the questions weren't that clear. I think the questions weren't really, a reflection of how the meetings go, so that's, comments are always great, and I'm sure they'll be good for her for the next year. But I wanna have more concise what we want and
Yeah.
what we're answered, and I think, what we need from professional relationships would be answered. What we need from board of trustee relationships would be answered, so that's good. You wanna talk about,
Yes, organizational and professional growth.
yes,
So one piece, that we want to evaluate her on is that just professional development. So, are they attending appropriate conferences and training sessions and participating in continuous professional development? I think that's one thing that we definitely want to see them to do.
Yeah.
The second question would be, do they participate in relevant professional organizations? And that's almost like they just say yes, no. I mean, I'm not sure that you necessarily need a 5-point scale on that one, but if it's easier to keep everything in 5-point scale, you could. And
we're
then,
gonna keep everything on the same scale,
and then,
so we'll just ask it in a way that can be scaled.
I guess so, yes. And then, something around kind of the strategy and planning, so, something to really assess, do we feel like she's making good progress on the strategic plan? Or appropriate progress, or however we want to word that. And then something around, sort of the achievement and execution of library goals from the prior year. So that was my 4, for that area.
So
Again, just trying to
execution
avoid-
of goals is one.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Progress on the strategic plan,
Progress on plan, okay.
participating in relevant professional organizations.
Yep.
And then their own professional development, so attending appropriate conferences and training sessions and participating in continuous professional development.
Okay. All right, anyone have anything to add to that?
Nope.
Okay. So what about, do we wanna do administration and human resources, or we do wanna do financial management? Because those are kind of tricky.
What was
in
Scott's
that way.
section?
Pardon me?
What was Scott's section?
Was he community and patron relations services
Yeah.
maybe?
Oh, okay.
I know he told me, so again today, what he said.
Well, let's do financial management because I feel like that's the easier one to
Yeah.
Okay.
knock out. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right?
I think so, well, I don't know, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 originally, so do we wanna eliminate or add any? Prepares budget documents including expenses for trustees meetings. Now, that's what is in the, the packet, but we wanna keep seeing that. presents and defends budgets to necessary boards and bodies, so that's definite. Aware of needs of the library within the plan.
Yep.
Building and grounds are adequately maintained.
I
Maybe,
mean, even that can actually be nested under the last one, where the needs of the library, plant facilities and supplies. That would kind of cover building and grounds.
I'm sorry,
Plant facilities. I don't think you need a separate building and grounds question.
you don't?
You got plant and facilities.
Yeah, that's true. So building and grounds, but that's kind of a big thing, oh, we
I
don't
mean, you
need
can
that.
almost say, is the director aware of needs of the library? Where it goes plant facilities, grounds, equipment and supplies.
Yeah, I feel like the
we
aware
don't
of
need
needs
that?
could be gotten rid of.
I'm sorry, which one should, aware
Like,
of needs of library?
I feel like aware of the needs of the library, plants, facilities, and supplies could be gotten rid of and keep building and grounds are adequately maintained. Like,
Okay,
of course, the
Yeah.
director's aware. Like that's sort of a given, I think. But are they actually, buildings and
Yeah.
grounds being maintained is the action item?
Are the plant facilities, equipment, grounds adequate? Right?
Yeah, are they being maintained, budgeted for?
right, so she prepares the budget and that's going to,
Yeah.
and presents and defends it, so that, those are things all in the budget, so we don't need that.
So I guess when we talk about building the grounds, we can say that, she's managing the facility to ensure it's safe, clean, healthy physical environment, maintained within the budgetary constraints.
Yeah.
Are they, or are they adequately maintained for both the short term and the long term financial plan? Using Catherine as the example, I guess, as the current director, she does a great job of like planning out the carpet. And we're gonna do the upstairs carpet this year. Next year we're gonna do the children's area, whatever. So are they thinking both long term and short term in terms of budget for the grounds?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think I had a question, one of the questions I've written down was the director has an ongoing facilities and maintenance program that anticipates needs and provides adequate information on the need for new and or remodeled facilities. And then I know we talked about IT security being one of the things that we wanted to add in as a.
I think the IT security is from someone else though, right? I think that's from the town,
Did we put that in somewhere else?
but I think that's from the town, any of the security, that's not something she decides on, like, we couldn't even have an email. You know what I mean, that was not in her control.
Yeah, that is 1,000% outside my wheelhouse, but I know that it's something that she must have some control over some sort of IT security because Jeff is always on top of that when it comes to reading the director reports.
Yeah,
Like that's something that he's far more aware of than I am.
right,
So there must be something that is controlled within the library. I would think.
Also, it's about reminding your staff, don't click on weird phishing emails, there's some of that to be done as well as just have to make sure that our firewalls operating to it. Or make sure our systems are upgraded as necessary, so that kind of stuff.
And then it's even gone into like, you can go from the IT security. It's in the past policies have gone from that into like usage, what kind of websites can be accessed and that sort of thing.
right,
But then that goes down into, I think, the patron relationships. So
right,
I don't know.
I don't know about the IT.
I'm okay leaving off the IT security for now and maybe seeing where that may or may not plug into the final document.
Yeah, okay, I agree. So the funds distributed, we don't need that. What about funds allocated or reserve for unexpected contingencies. Do we want her to be proactive about something like that? Is that something I don't think we need the first one.
No, I think, and that's the right word. Is the director proactive in allocating funds or in building reserves for unexpected contingencies?
Yeah.
Yeah, do they prudently allocate funds for different economic environments or whatever,
Yeah.
different situations?
I mean, I only said that because I think she does. She's always saying, well, this is
Yeah.
on its last leg, so we're
She
kind of
seems to also have
anticipating.
a year or two vision as to what monies are going to be available and what things we need to
Right.
keep an eye on.
So I know we talked about a bullet point that says something like additional funding sources are explored and applied for as appropriate.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so there's 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
It's somewhat language.
Sorry, can you read them before out?
So basically prepares budget documents, for trustees meetings.
Yeah.
Including expenses. Presents and defends budgets to necessary boards and bodies. I guess, do we have to say that she writes it? Obviously, she creates the budget. Should I say that?
I mean, yeah.
Should we say
I guess in
creates?
the first one, creates.
Develops.
Creates and presents?
Yeah, develops and defends, or
So
Or
develops.
which one? You just merged one and two.
No, we're saying she's the first one is us, that we're getting documents about expenses,
Okay.
we're getting money, where the money is every trustees meeting.
Yeah.
That's one thing we know she does, so everyone should say
Yeah.
yes to that.
Yes.
Develop and defends budgets to necessary.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Sorry.
Funds are allocated or proactively reserves money for unexpected contingencies, something along that vein. Building and grounds are adequately maintained within budget constraints.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, so then we have community and patient services is what we said. Scott did, right?
Mhm.
So hopefully we'll get his. All right, administrative and human resources. This is all over the place, so let's look at that and decide if that's 2 separate things or if we can be condensed. Okay, regular performance evaluations held and documented, that's a definite.
Yeah,
Staff development and education is encouraged, that's another definite. Recruits and hires people appropriate to available jobs.
yeah, I think that's
I
enough.
don't know how you do that in this. How do we know she's recruiting in?
Well,
Well, we
people
know she's
leave
recruiting
and the jobs get filled, yeah.
She hires
She's
the
like,
best
oh, yeah.
people. So if she's hiring the people, so they're not performing. What is it missing or what does it need for you?
I guess I'm kind of stuck with people apply for positions versus she's recruiting them.
But they
Well,
advertise, they always
yes.
advertise for a job.
It's just
Yeah.
a process, right? Somebody leaves, you
So you don't
advertise the
want
job,
recruits?
they apply. It's a recruitment process in my mind.
Yeah,
All right, it's fine.
No, she's not like going out headhunting, be like,
Yes.
oh, you, come and work for
You
me.
do you
Right.
pay for an assistant
Yes.
director, because I want to ditch the one I got. No, I mean,
Right, yeah, it's a recruitment process where you have open applications, and I don't know if they have a employee referral program for the town.
I mean, we can just say if like hires people appropriate to available jobs.
Yeah, you don't end up with 5 vacancies suddenly you're down a shift and can't open on Monday afternoon.
Yeah. What do you not like about
I
it?
can live with recruits.
No, we don't need to live with anything. We're too old.
I just don't think that,
You don't like the recruits word.
I don't know where she's gonna recruit people from. I feel like recruiting is you're going after people for positions or
Well,
places.
she does, I mean, they do recruit sometimes people from within. But I mean, I think they advertise a job and people
Right, we,
apply for it.
All right,
Youth
okay,
Services
so
left.
I'm
Here's a
stuck
job.
on outside positions, but yes, I think she could certainly recruit inside staff that she thinks are
Yeah.
viable to move up into
Yeah.
certain positions.
But if there's a position, they have to post it.
Right.
Like, on the outside too.
Yeah.
But she hires the best people for job.
It's great that she
In-house. Applies best practices for human resource management. Cross-training is utilized to provide optimal service to public. I know she does that, I know everyone kind of trains in all the places in case they have to fill in, I think that has helped when people, when jobs have been open.
So would that be with the self-development bullet point, or is that its own?
I think that's, well, staff development. We don't really have a staff development, so that is staff development, is that what you mean?
Oh, I thought the first one we talked about, you had mentioned was staff development is encouraged.
Staff development and education. Like outside education. But I guess that could
I mean, to
be,
me, development is all about like how you're expanding your skills, whether that's inside or outside, so to me, cross-training is kind of part of that development.
Yeah.
You know, you're broadening the
I think we
staff
can-
skills, it
but
kind
I
of makes
think
sense to put it.
cross-training is
put it-
specifically, you have to learn everyone's job.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's what helped her when people were vacant, that you can go fill in or someone's absent.
Yeah.
I thought
I feel
that
like
was kind of different.
Can we combine that into one line of,
That's what I was, yeah,
like
just for conciseness.
fosters an environment of staff development, growth, and continuing education? Or fosters an environment of growth, cross-training, continuing education.
I think that's totally different. I
Yeah,
think staff development is learning to work together, it's learning, having a back and forth conversation of like what's needed for each department, on what's needed to be a cohesive group. But specifically learning everyone's job is not something that everybody does in a company or everybody does anywhere, but they do it here.
No,
Like,
I guess
that's important.
I was not reading staff development as communication amongst staff. I was reading it as an individual person's development plan, as in, is the intern getting developed and educated and whatnot to become a part-time employee? Are they getting promoted to a full-time employer? You know what I mean? Like, is each person's have a growth track?
individual staff development to move up the ladder, for lack of a better phrase.
Right,
Yeah.
and reflect their interests, oh, you're interested in reference, oh, you're interested in this, like, great, like, let's give you opportunities here.
But that's completely separate than cross-training.
Yeah, but I think staff development is also, exactly what we're kind of trying to get at with how comfortable is the staff? Do they have what they need? Do they have, because you still have to work together, you have to get along with other people, you have to, there's things that have to go from person to person.
Yeah, I would just call that more
I
of
don't know, when I have
the
to go to a staff meeting, it's because you're raising issues, you're raising, how can we make this better for the staff, or how can we make that better for the library function in general? And I think that's what we're kind of getting at with like, is that working here? Instead of having, I know after COVID, there's a lot of like, this is my job, this is my job. Doesn't really work in a place like this, and it doesn't really work in most environments. So, I don't know, so that's how I took staff development, so. But
And I
also,
think-
education where needed.
like your definition of staff development is how I was thinking is more like staff relations in terms of just, getting along and working together, and how well do they work together. And
I think those are different.
Yeah.
Relations and development, I think, are different.
Yeah, I mean, I think of them as two different things, but Susan's definition of development is how I
Is
was defining
grooming and
relationships.
growing the staff.
Yeah. I was taking it more as personal growth and development,
Right.
not intermingled growth and development. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah, so I mean, I had a bullet point that was, maintains a safe, positive organizational culture and work environment, which could include, communications, regular staff meetings, that you want that communicative, collaborative work environment. And I see that separate to staff development, which I see very much as the training side of things of like, oh, you want to get into reference, like, right, let's give you a course on this and then cross train here and then work with Susie, right? That to me is a development plan. So.
All right, so now we have 7 questions. Let's make it 4.
Exactly.
All right. Still.
So recruitment and retention, I think, is definitely one clear bullet point. Effective self-management, applying best practices, that's definitely 2. Fostering an environment of,
Well, I
stuff.
just flipped a word in there that we didn't have, which was retention.
Well, you want to retain yourself as well as recruit them. And recruitment and retention usually go together, But yes, I mean, it is you could put the retention in with the work environment and the positive culture, because that's kind of the upshot of so many different aspects. And if you only want 4 bullet points.
Well, it has, we said 4 to 6.
Right.
So maybe this is a big area.
I think it may, yeah, this one is even.
Maybe it needs to be separated, I don't know.
Maybe if we come up with the say 1-word bullet points that we want, the 5 things to convey, one of them is going to be growth, staff growth. One of them is going to be the like the positive work environment or something like that. One is going to be like environment, one's going to be growth, one's going to be regulations, whatever. Come up with sort of the 5 keywords amongst those 7 points, and then maybe we can word a question around each of the keywords to get it down to 5. Because I feel like there is a lot of little overlap amongst those 7 points. I just, like it's a lot, but it's hard to say cut out just one because there's sort of a little overlap in there. Who is one person doing this section or?
Well,
Or was-
here's my question on that whole section in general. If the Board of Trustees are above the fray for all of this human resource stuff, because we're only supposed to hear about human resources issues if there's a catastrophe, why are we evaluating that?
So we see, she has the benefit, right? She says, oh, so-and-so's leaving, so-and-so's retiring, I'm recruiting for this, I've hired this. So we do see in the reports, the recruitment.
Right.
And we see the retention, right? If people leaving or not leaving. So I feel like, you can be like, wow, we had 15 people leave the library this month. Holy shit, what's going on?
Right, but then that goes right back to the board trustee relationship with the director and the building.
Right.
And if the director says, well, 9 people, for lack of a better example, are expected and they're leaving. I can't help that.
Absolutely.
But
That's a very different.
do we even, is it our place to micromanage what's going on with the staff?
I don't think that we can micromanage, but I think we can just be aware, because then if you see, 9 people are expected versus 9 people.
Or 9 people left because they opened up a
stuff
brand new
meeting.
library and they took everybody away for more money.
Right.
It was a new facility in Masco. And they stole 10 people.
I think that it's I think the whole retention issue doesn't really apply anymore to a job like this that's union-based. Because it's just like the retention of teachers in school systems. When you're union, you can only go so far. So you could be the most outstanding employee ever, and there'd be no way to maintain them if they wanted to do the same wonderful thing somewhere else for a significant more amount of money. So that's why, and I think that people were comfortable, and maybe all, everyone was kind of status that, but now there's a huge difference between how much teachers are paid from town to town and any union position like this. I don't think it was always like that. I don't think, I taught in Everett, for me to go to Everett to Reading was not, it wasn't that different. The range wasn't as big, but now you have school systems that have no money, school systems that have money. So I think the retention factor is just really not an indication of something that we can worry about.
Well, but money's not the only reason that people leave jobs. People leave jobs because they don't like the managers. It's very common in normal, companies outside.
Right.
You're having a friction with a coworker that, you have to see them every day and you're just not happy. Like, it might not even be anything that Catherine can necessarily do anything about.
Exactly.
But there are so many other factors that go into it, just compensation, but, some of them are under their control, some of them aren't. But I guess.
But I think in this particular case, I think that's the major reason. There's always gonna be other reasons, and those are personal.
Right.
And that's why we're not gonna know, and it's not any reflection on a bad place to work or whatever. And that's what we wanna maintain. We wanna maintain a safe and, appropriate environment. You can't, not everybody's gonna like everybody, and not everyone's gonna be comfortable in a certain situation.
I think the general level of turnover is just an indicator, right? So if it is bumping along at one person's leaving every couple of months, and then suddenly it's 6 people are leaving, that's just something that we the trustees should probably ask a few questions, find out what's going on. It could be totally, everyone's having a leave. Or it could be indicative of something else, and I feel like that's a reasonable thing for the trustees to see when something becomes completely, out of the usual routine. Like, no, we don't need to know necessarily why everyone's leaving, but suddenly if there's a big change, at that point, I think it's reasonable to be able to ask some questions of is there something going on that we should know about?
And that kept coming up as a question that didn't get answered. But, why aren't we getting exit interviews with people who are leaving?
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's our responsibility to get exit interviews beyond what the director says is nothing concerning for the trustees to see why 4 people left or this person left or.
Right.
I mean, it's not like we reach up and say, now he's retiring, okay. Good luck to that, we're all sad and happy for her at the same time, but, as I said, I think it's about the trends that, it's just a trend that you would want to be aware of. It's useful to see the data, and if it's concerning, you look at it. But on the whole, no, we don't need to see exit interviews, we don't need vast amounts of information, but just
and I think that's something that
it just gives you the picture of what's going on.
I think that's something that, when that does come up, and it has in the past, if it does again, somebody asks the question, if that concerns you, well, can you tell us why they're leaving? Why do you think so many people left at once? And, do we need to do something about that?
Exactly.
And either she'll say yes or no. I don't think we need it in an evaluation per se. I think ultimately, whenever she says, well, some people are leaving, before we even know that they've left, she's hired someone for that position, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my concern is the old concern, if people are leaving, what is the service to the town? What is the service to the patrons? What has been disrupted? Is anything missing?
Is there drop off or fall off?
Yeah, and I feel like we've never experienced hearing about a big hole somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's why I want that cross-training thing put in, because I think that that's part of the reason that someone can move in even temporarily for that job. So again, I don't know
It's
how
just
to.
an indicator.
Yeah, and I think that things, you don't know what you don't know. We don't know what comes up in a meeting until it comes up.
Yep.
So if we see something and we're concerned about it, it's our responsibility to ask about it and ask it clearer. And that's, again, the relationship with the director from the trustees. If we bring up, well, can you find out more, can you give us more about this, can you, what's our plan of action, is there a plan of action to alleviate that? And give her an opportunity to respond to something that we want. You know what I mean? I think we have more, not power, but we have more influence than we necessarily use. If we're concerned about something as the year goes on, not just at the end.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I think that we need to take more steps.
So
We meaning everyone, if you're feel concerned about something.
that goes back to my category. Is the director responsive to trustee questions?
Yeah.
And concerns?
Right, so I think that that's what we need to find out. But the trustees all really need to know that this is important, we all need to do our part. And I think I think that hasn't necessarily been done. I'm very trusting and sometimes very tired to read the whole report. So, I don't know about anybody else, but 7 o'clock is late. All right, so, okay, we need growth in education, we need 1, 2. So you want 4 questions.
I mean, if we have to push 1 to 5 or 6, we
Right.
can, but in general, I think the number should be 4, but.
So we want
We
evaluations.
didn't look at the last bullet point, which maintains a positive work environment. How do we know that?
Yes, yeah, I don't know how we don't know that. We only know by results,
Right, so I think you can take that out.
yeah. And I know we wanna find out about that, but I don't know what the question would be and what area it would be.
It goes back to who recruits and hires the appropriate people.
Yes. I don't know, so. Performance evaluations, development education, and little tweaking of that. Recruits and hires people if appropriate. Best practices, cross training. That is 4. Right?
Yep.
Do we need
Sounds good.
anything else? Is that good?
So we're gonna have something around sort of, the director, communicates well with her staff. So, sorry, do we have the one on the work environment and culture, or? So I mean, essentially you sort of assume everything's fine unless you hear otherwise. Right, unless,
That's a trustee role.
Well, I mean, how do we know? How does she know?
So I mean, I think it will be interesting, I know she was meant to be meeting with DKC around, HR practices. I wonder if, staff surveys are a part of that is something that counts. Want to.
Yeah.
And that's.
I know Catherine, didn't feel that they were really valuable to her.
Right.
But I don't know if there's others out there or she's changed her mind about that.
I'm sorry, she didn't feel like what was valuable?
Staff surveys.
Oh.
And I don't have an opinion about that, I don't know. I know that when as a staff member, when I've been able, had to do that. There's people that are gonna be unhappy and vent, and there's people who are gonna not really pay attention to it and say everything's fine. So it's hard to,
I think it's about, is she open to feedback from her staff?
Yeah.
Do they feel comfortable going to her with concerns? Not everything will be resolved to people's satisfaction, but, is she open and listening to them? I think
Yeah.
that's probably at the end of the day what you need.
But how are we gonna ask that? How would we know that? What's the end result? I think that's when people are concerned about people leaving, that's one of the things they're concerned about, but I don't know how we get at that. That's just, I don't know how to do that.
You always need one of those little smiley face things that you get in airports. Every day, hit, are you the green happy face? Are you the red angry face? You know, just.
That would be
That's
great.
kind of like you could, essentially you sort of want the online version of,
Yeah,
how am I feeling today?
Yeah.
And then you can have the little, like, yeah, I'm mad because I had a picture come and, do something absolutely ridiculous that I had no control over. And,
yeah,
I had to try and be polite to them while they were telling me something ridiculous. Or say I was really happy because, a patron said something really nice about my service. Or,
Yeah.
whatever. It's just those little regular snippets. It doesn't have to be a huge thing.
right,
It's how do you get that pulse of the organization? And I think part of it, we get through her report, right, with the reports from the different departments, but
yeah, it's just, it's a tricky thing for us to measure,
yes.
and I don't know.
Is that something the trustees themselves find through their interactions in the general public?
Right.
And being around the community?
Right.
And hearing things that
Yeah.
if there's an issue, and it's not really something the director can convey to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Sharon used to say, you're an ambassador for the library. Everyone's an ambassador at Blossoms. I mean, we saw a lot more when we hit for Blossoms about
What was going on?
disgruntled employees or patrons.
Yes.
But I feel completely out of the loop with that now. I mean, I'm physically not here enough during the day.
Yeah.
You should, you work right down the street, you should be
I
walking all the
come
time.
in my spare time.
Just hang around talking to people.
It's that.
All right, I think we got 4-ish there. It's kind of unclear in my head, to be honest with you. I don't know what Scott was planning. He said he had a lot of stuff. Is there anything that we should eliminate from this list under community and patron services?
I feel like overall patron satisfaction is just too broad, and again,
Too
it goes
broad.
back to how do we measure that?
Right.
And same with kind of what we were just talking about. It's one of these things where, as far as getting a pulse on whether it be the community or the employees, I hate to go back to whatever Oglethorpe court cases of the 1950s, but like, I can't define it, but I'll know it when I see it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna know if the whole community is in an uproar for some reason over, the library directorship, we're gonna know about it. And it's something, it's hard to define, it's hard to measure, it's hard to rate on an evaluation, but it certainly would come into play when, as the personnel subcommittee is renegotiating contracts and pay raises and things like that. It's something we would want to consider.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know that it necessarily needs to be part of the evaluation. I think it's just we'll know it because we'll know it, and
Yeah.
it doesn't need to go on record necessarily.
Right. We'll know the pulse.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that one line can get nixed from the
Yeah.
community and patron services section.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest one is maybe just the one point, are the library services communicated to the public effectively?
Yeah.
People aware of what's aware, or available rather.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, is she, for lack of a better word, promoting the library to the general public well enough?
I think the other three are also all relevant though too. I mean,
Yeah. So seeks feedback from patrons and community. Collections are current and reflects community needs and interests. Library services communicated to public effectively. That's 3.
I think maybe number 5 and
Then-
number 2 are a little repetitive. Services are up to date and relevant, and then collections are current and reflect community needs. That seems a little, is that not saying the same thing?
Redundant, yeah.
So I don't have anything after library services communicate to public effectively. Did we put something else in?
Services
so-
are up to date and relevant, is the line
Yeah,
after that.
the one I'm
Oh,
looking
okay.
at.
Which
Oh, yeah,
I think
all
we
right,
could
that's
ditch.
added. We could ditch that one?
Okay,
I think so.
so maybe we already did ditch
I
that.
agree with Amy, that's the same thing as collections are current and reflect the community needs and interests.
Yeah,
There's no difference between the services are up to date and relevant.
yeah. So get rid of 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if we want both, we can say collections and services are current
True,
and
yeah,
reflects. Do we wanna put that in?
yeah,
Since
that may
there's,
just be a more, yeah, broader
since
way
there's a
referring
lot
to it.
of like, you know, all the computer stuff and all that kind of stuff. Right. I also had seeks additional funding sources.
Oh, I thought that one was
Under
on
financial, yeah.
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 Financial.
Do we want to include that?
Yeah, I think in finance I would want that because, you know, if grants are going down, you want to see some movement towards fundraising.
I mean, I know that's kind of what we've been talking about at Dakota, supplementing because of the lack of blossoms or whatever.
Right.
So some of them might have 5,
Which is fine.
which is fine.
And did we want to put anything about IT in this one? We were sort of talking about, like, making sure that library technology is kept up to date.
That'll fall
I
under
wouldn't mind-
services,
Under
no?
services, I think.
I wouldn't mind floating that one by Jeff and or Catherine and or the IT department and sort of getting a better sense of if there's even a place for it on here. I mean,
Yeah.
just because I'm gonna plead ignorance on this and say I don't know where it.
Right. Because I
Yeah.
don't know how much as well technology falls under the strategic plan of, you know, sort of evaluating new systems and deciding which ones, you know,
Yeah,
being created that would be better or.
well, I think we should put this all together. If you send me exactly what sections, I'll do the 2 that we did here. And I guess what I'll ask you to do is to look at each section and individually send me things that we missed or that could be said better or whatever, and I'll try to do that document. So the question is, we kind of need another meeting or not? Do we need this first?
I guess I'd want to know what Scott had prepared.
Yeah,
I don't want to just cut him out.
Yeah.
well, no, he's going to send me his stuff.
Okay, oh, okay.
That's
And
what I
then
mean.
you'll put that in the document.
We just
and send
like
it to all
did
of us.
what we thought was
Yeah.
this.
Right.
I feel like there should be one more where we're kind of coming together with what we think are the final
Yeah.
To look
So-
more at the
Yeah.
final.
We're
before
gonna
we
send
yeah
you-
before we present it to the board as a whole.
So
Well, that's
we're
already
gonna send you our questions. You're gonna individually each send us a
The whole thing.
compilation of
Yeah.
the whole thing.
So we'll go.
And then we'll
The draft
pick it
document.
apart and finalize it in the next meeting.
Right. Well, you can send me any corrections or differences for everyone after I get
Right.
all of them
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
But
So it sounds like
individually,
you have all
we
the
can't,
work and I
we
just
can't
get to
have
pick-
we can't have one document sent around,
Right.
because
Right,
then
no,
we
I get it,
have
I
in a meeting.
understand, that's why I was looking at the logistics.
So we'll get
of
it
everything.
directly, so we'll look at that. Also, we have to decide on how the rating is.
Yeah.
What words we wanna use.
Which I think that could be like on the agenda for the final meeting once we see the final compiled list of bullet points.
Yeah,
Then that can be
okay,
that should be a pretty quick and easy discussion on, are we going 1 through 5? Are we going
okay.
right? Like I can't imagine that's going to become a heated discussion.
The other question is, do we want to present this to Catherine for suggestions or to first look, or do we want it to go to the board at the same time?
I think it should go to the board at the same time.
You don't think, I kind of think that because we need her to approve it. If there's something she's missing or she's something that isn't appropriate. No?
Do we need her approval? I mean, not
Yeah,
that we don't want her approval, but I'm saying, do we technically need her approval on it?
she's gonna have to agree to it if we're gonna institute it.
If we're going to do it
before
this
our contract's
January.
up.
But in general, if she doesn't like the form, then it could, if we all agree on it, it can be whatever we use going forward after June 1st, right?
After, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we don't feel we need her information.
Yeah, no, to that end, if we wanna do it now, yes, we do.
Yeah.
And if we don't give a shit what she says, then, we just do it and say this is it, and it comes into play next contract. My preference would be to have her approval and get it in play and effective sooner rather than later.
I
So
feel weird, like, I don't want to blur designing an evaluation for one specific director versus designing an evaluation for all future directors. You know what I mean? Like,
Correct.
so I feel like we should do it the way we want to have it done for, perpetuity. And then give her the option, here's the final director, and you can decide, do you want to be evaluated in January or not? And if she says no, she doesn't like it, then that's fine. Like, we just don't evaluate her in
But
January.
I also think that she may have some tweaks that we find
Right.
viable or valid
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
in the course of looking at it,
Yes,
that we would like that.
And we-
Yeah, I just think that can come at the same time that the trustees see it.
Well, we could invite her to this meeting just for her opinions. It's not etched in stone. I just feel like I've only known two directors. I don't really know well, you can see how complicated it is, but I don't know all the nuances of what she does. There might be something we're leaving out. We don't have to. I mean, it could be if we don't agree to have her. Otherwise, I was gonna ask her if she could come to that final meeting and
That
just
would
be
be
a
my
participant.
preference, that she.
I mean, she watches these anyway. So I guess we need to pick another meeting. And we'll see who's sick for that one. I was sick for a long time too.
I'm at 2.5 weeks at this point. Like, I can't.
You're just not getting better.
I mean, it's just not going away.
Yeah,
It just moves from the head to the throat to the chest to,
yeah.
Cough centers report.
we don't have any other subcommittee meetings, right? This was the last one?
This was the last one.
So the 17th is the actual board meeting.
So we have an actual board meeting. We could try to meet an hour before that. We could eat that.
We couldn't, no, I couldn't do that, there's a retirement party.
How about
Yeah,
one-
I may not even make the December meeting. We have our holiday party that day. I can do the 15th,
Yeah, Monday the 15th
who's
would work.
week has holiday party?
holiday travel.
Oh, for just the employees.
I thought it was,
Yeah,
Because
it's our work.
tomorrow
That's-
is the one.
That's like Suzanne's client thing that she does with the
Yeah.
chamber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our work one is the 17th.
So what about the 15th, 2 weeks from today?
I mean,
On
we
Monday
want
at
to
4:30?
do next Monday, the 8th, just in case. We need more time.
I will be in Florida playing with
I will be in
my
Florida as
grandson.
well.
Oh my gosh, Florida, the place to be.
Playing with what?
Not with
Shining
Chris.
grandson,
Oh,
What's his name?
11, 12,
What's his name?
Barrett,
Oh, that's right, you told me that. Oh, that's weird name.
yeah, bizarre.
Alright, so.
If it's gonna be before Christmas, it's gonna be the 15th, is that
15th was-
maybe
Yeah.
when? 'Cause
15th.
then the next week is just,
Oh, we're away, we go on the 19th.
Yeah, we're away the next week after.
okay, so I'm gonna do 4:30 on the 15th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So get me your stuff and I'll, stay up past 7 o'clock some night and actually try to put it all together. So then we really just need to add the directions and to do the rating scale. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that I'm missing? Anything else that we will add? Do we feel like we're generally getting the information that we feel is appropriate?
I do.
Yeah.
Nothing glowingly missing?
Yeah, 'cause again, I think that as long as each section has, a couple blank
Comments.
lines to
Yeah,
fill
Right.
in anything missing,
yeah,
then it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think just at the end, we have a place for goals.
The goals has to be a whole page, just like they were the last time, which we really haven't done goals for this year. So I kind of want to ask Catherine, we really should have goals for this year. Because if we do institute this in January, we can look at the first 6, 7 months. And make it back at the end of the year too. I just feel like after the last one, people are gonna kind of want to have a redo on it.
And
So
then
we
just
would
make
have
sure
to-
that there's a space for her to put her comments, for the director to put their comments as well.
Yeah,
Just because you always want to have a space for that.
What do you want to do for a cycle for this evaluation? You do January, so your new trustees have a minute to kind of get a feel for what goes on.
Right, because when you
I
come
mean,
in
if you do
April,
it
you have no idea what's
in May or June, you've got elected at the end of April, and
You
you've
have
never
nothing
been to
to
a
base it
meeting,
on.
and you have
Yeah.
kind of no reference.
Yeah,
So if
And
you
is
do
this
it
something that
January-
do we have to put this, I'm sorry, do we have to put this as a new policy, or this is just going to go into the next director contract?
yeah.
I believe that if she agrees to it, it can go in, we can decide.
It can actually be.
We don't have to have the same table as it is, right? Like right now, they get it in January and it had to be in by, was it April?
Right. I'm just saying, like, do we do it as a library policy? Or or is it just part of, we just insert it into the June contract for the next?
Actually, I think it should be both.
It's probably a policy.
I think it should be in the contract, and I think it should be a policy.
I think it would be both. The only
Right
thing
now,
that
I know
really
it's in the
changed-
contract, but I don't know if we have it as a policy.
Yeah, I don't know either. But whatever, only change is that it's gonna be yearly instead of every 3 years. So, I don't know. That's,
Well, I guess the difference there then is if we make it a library policy, it's a little, I mean, we can change it anytime, but it's a little harder to change. Whereas if it's just in the director contract, 3-year contract in June, then the next contract we do, if for some reason we try this for 3 years and it's not quite right, we can change it again. If we decide that
Yeah.
January doesn't work out well
Well,
because of election season or whatever, like,
Right.
If you put it in her contract, there's a possibility it gets negotiated out. If it becomes a policy, it's a policy. So when
Right.
someone's looking at working here as a director, they're gonna know they're gonna get evaluated annually and not negotiate that out of the contract.
okay.
so I mean, we definitely want it every year. So then the question is, we should think about what the timetable is. Do we want to do it before new trustees take over, or,
And I think part of it would also depend if Catherine were to leave, it would depend when the new director was hired, because you won't have to do a year before you were evaluating them. But depending on the election cycle, you'd want to either capture ex trustees before they go, as opposed to relying on new trustees who haven't seen them.
Yeah.
So that.
I don't know
that's
how
maybe it.
Catherine would select the retirement date. I would assume, should that happen, it would be at the end of her contract. So if you hire someone, and I assume her contract goes June to June, you'd have, half a year anyway to evaluate a new director.
Mhm.
If you do, the January kind of thing, annual evaluation take place in January.
I think you'd need at least 6 months for them to be in position before you do the evaluation.
Yeah.
Maybe that's kind of what we say in the policy.
well, really, they usually, new hires usually get evaluated after 90 days to see if they're working out. So I don't know what
Well, that's a
new
different
one-
policy.
Yeah,
It's a
but
different
that's what I
written
mean, and
policy.
so I don't know what, don't forget,
Yeah.
we don't have meetings in the summer, we're really only a 10-month board.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, whenever it comes down to us having to get a new director, then that contract would theoretically start in a June of whatever year it's going to be. And
Right,
if we do the evaluations in January, then we have 6 months of knowledge. So it's not a 90-day trial period, but essentially it's a 6 month trial
right.
It's
period,
a partial, yeah.
which I like
I think
that.
that,
I'm
I
also
think
not
that's
opposed to doing one
acceptable.
in the fall is not a bad time either. I mean, then you've got it's nowhere near election season. So even if it takes, say, two or even possibly three trustee meetings to get through the evaluation process.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like when we do it in January, it's January, February, it's March. Now all of a sudden we've got new trustees and we're still kind of talking about the evaluations that we
Yeah,
started.
but the whole point of an annual, modified, simplified evaluation is it's gonna go to the trustees and you're gonna get it back next meeting. It's not gonna be what it was and has been, that it gets that,
It's
splashed
big, yeah.
across all over the place,
right,
trying to figure out who
The
wants
last
what,
3
and how does
years,
this work,
right.
and what,
Right.
it's,
right.
here you go, it's, 6, 7 categories, 4 questions, it's under 30 questions, it shouldn't be
Yeah.
that difficult.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
in the past it's dragged on to like 3 months long.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's
because of
ridiculous.
what a mishmash of questions and answers it was,
but
Yeah.
that's
I had a
also,
different phrase.
that's also how the directions were written.
Yeah.
That they went out in January, they came back by a certain date, and they were presented
Yeah.
at another date, so I have a feeling it is policy, but I don't really know that for sure, so we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Because it seemed very
Yeah, I mean,
specific of how they did it.
If we can,
Yeah.
make sure they're out on January 1 and have to be returned by January 10 to be discussed at the January 15th meeting or whatever,
Yeah,
like it shouldn't take anyone 3 weeks to fill out the evaluation.
No,
No.
really should. We should have like the government at the bottom, this form should take you roughly, 30
And if it's
minutes,
a
45
simple-
minutes to complete.
If it's a simple rating system, it should be easy enough for Susan or whomever's in charge of it to compile them and
Right,
you're right,
into one form. Obviously if it's
Yeah.
the 10 pages we had before is a little bit or quite a lot for you to compile, but I would love
But
to
it
make it a
wasn't-
1 month process.
it still wasn't bad, there's only 9 people, except for the people we had to chase, Adam Rogers. I don't know, so do we have a decision on that, or we wanna decide, think about what we wanna do with that?
Okay.
January seems just like a nice time,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I like that.
you know? But we'll decide that the next time as well. All right, anything else? Voice is given out.
Yeah, no,
I'm good.
Look at you. Want some purple too?
I need purple, I like colors.
All right, anything else,
Yeah,
Amy?
no purple, yeah.
No, nothing
Anything
else.
else, Karen?
No, that sounds good,
Chris,
so we'll send you
good.
the.
All right. Gonna adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
Aye.